Desperation can drive people to unthinkable acts. But what happens when survival is at stake and morality is pushed to the limit? Welcome to the shocking story of Lot, a biblical figure who made a choice that would haunt him forever. A father's love turned into a desperate bid for survival, leading to a taboo union that defied societal norms. Join us as we unravel the complex web of survival, sacrifice, and shame. Stay with us until the very end, for the truth is more disturbing than fiction. Welcome to Sankofa Tales, where the past comes alive and secrets are revealed. Don't miss out on more captivating stories. Subscribe now and join our community of curious explorers. Before we dive into the shocking story of Lot, let's set the stage by exploring the ancient world in which it took place. The time period is around 1800 BCE, during the Roman era, when societal norms and values differed vastly from ours today. In ancient Mesopotamia, family protection and survival were paramount. Cultural norms prioritized the preservation of family units and lineage over individual moral codes. This meant that desperate measures were often justified if they ensured the family's safety and continuity. The biblical account of Lot's story is deeply rooted in this cultural context. As a member of Abraham's family, Lot was part of a patriarchal society where family ties and loyalty were non-negotiable. The concept of family extended beyond immediate relatives, encompassing tribes and clans. In this era, women's roles were often defined by their relationships with men. Daughters were seen as valuable assets for securing alliances and ensuring family continuity through marriage. The notion of individual autonomy and consent was largely absent, especially for women. Against this backdrop, the story of Lot unfolds. A story of desperation, survival, and the blurred lines between right and wrong. As we explore this ancient tale, keep in mind the cultural norms that shaped Lot's decisions and the world around him. Lot the father was a complex figure driven by a mix of noble and desperate motivations. Described as kind and protective, he was willing to go to great lengths to ensure his family's safety and survival. However, his desperation would ultimately lead him down a path that would test the boundaries of morality and family dynamics. On the other hand, Lot's daughter was an innocent and loyal young woman deeply devoted to her family. Living in a patriarchal society, she was socialized to prioritize family obligations above personal desires. Her loyalty and submission to her father's will would ultimately lead to her victimization, forcing her into a situation that would leave lasting emotional scars. The biblical account portrays Lot's daughter as a silent figure, her thoughts and feelings largely unrecorded. Yet her presence is palpable, her fate inextricably linked to her father's choices. As we explore their story, consider the power dynamics at play and the devastating consequences that can arise when desperation and loyalty collide. Lot's relationship with his daughter was multifaceted, reflecting the complexities of ancient family dynamics. As a father, he was responsible for protecting and providing for her, yet his actions would ultimately compromise her well-being and autonomy. This paradox raises important questions about the nature of family loyalty, protection, and sacrifice. The city of Sodom, Lot's home, was on the brink of destruction. The biblical account describes Sodom as a corrupt and sinful city, ripe for divine judgment. For Lot, this imminent threat meant more than just the loss of his home. It signaled the potential enslavement of his family and the erasure of his legacy. As a member of Abraham's family, Lot was deeply invested in preserving his lineage and protecting his loved ones. The thought of losing his family, his daughters, and his future generations was unbearable. This fear fueled his every move, driving him to make choices that would have far-reaching consequences. The ancient world was unforgiving, and the fate of Sodom served as a stark reminder of the dangers that lurked outside the city walls. Lot knew that capture and enslavement would mean the end of his family's independence, their cultural identity, and their connection to the land. With the clock ticking, Lot faced an impossible decision: flee alone, leaving his family behind, or risk everything to save them. The weight of responsibility rested squarely on his shoulders, and the burden of choice would haunt him forever. As the destruction of Sodom drew near, Lot's fear for his family's safety intensified. Every moment counted, and every decision carried life-or-death consequences. Against this backdrop of chaos and desperation, Lot made a choice that would change the course of his family's history. With Sodom's destruction looming, Lot's survival instincts kicked in. His primary concern was safeguarding his family, ensuring their continuation in a world that seemed determined to destroy them. In this desperate moment, Lot weighed his options carefully, considering the unthinkable, fleeing alone. Abandoning his family would have guaranteed Lot's own survival, but at what cost? The thought of leaving his daughters behind vulnerable to the whims of invading forces was unbearable. Lot prioritized their safety above his own, refusing to abandon them to an uncertain fate. Instead, Lot chose a different path, one that would secure his family's survival but compromise their moral integrity. This decision was not taken lightly. It was a calculated risk driven by the primal urge to protect those he loved. In the face of catastrophic loss, Lot's decision reflected the harsh realities of ancient life. Family unity and survival often depended on difficult choices made in the heat of the moment. Lot's actions, though flawed, were motivated by a father's love and a desperate desire to preserve his lineage. As we navigate the complexities of Lot's decision, consider the impossible choices faced by those living on the brink of disaster. What would you do to ensure your family's survival? Would you prioritize moral principles or take drastic measures to safeguard those you love? The marriage between Lot and his daughter was a simple, secretive affair far removed from the joyful celebrations typically accompanying ancient weddings. This union was shrouded in secrecy, hidden from prying eyes and wagging tongues. The emotional weight of this event hung heavy in the air, as if the very fabric of morality was being stretched to its limits. The ceremony itself was likely a somber, intimate affair with only the most trusted family members in attendance. The atmosphere would have been tense, the silence punctuated only by the quiet tears and stifled sobs of those involved. But secrecy couldn't contain the scandal for long. As news of the union spread, the community's reaction was swift and unforgiving. Shock, condemnation, and isolation followed, as if the very thought of this taboo relationship had tainted the entire family. In ancient Mesopotamia, family honor was paramount, and Lot's actions were seen as an egregious breach of trust. Neighbors and acquaintances alike would have viewed this union as an abomination, a transgression against the natural order. The social implications were severe. Lot and his family were ostracized, cut off from the support networks and social bonds that had sustained them. Rumors and whispers spread like wildfire, fueling a maelstrom of judgment and disdain. Lot's decision had unleashed a storm of community outrage, leaving his family vulnerable and exposed. As they navigated this treacherous landscape, they would face the harsh consequences of their actions and the weight of societal disapproval. The immediate consequences of the union were emotionally crippling. Lot's daughter, once a symbol of innocence and purity, now bore the weight of a traumatic experience. The guilt and shame that followed would haunt her for a lifetime, forever altering her perspective on love, family, and herself. Lot, too, was consumed by remorse. The burden of his decision weighed heavily on his conscience as he grappled with the moral implications of his actions. The once strong bond between father and daughter was now frayed, their relationship irreparably damaged by the secrets and silence that surrounded them. As time passed, the long-term impact of this event began to manifest. Lot's family dynamics were forever altered, with relationships strained to the breaking point. Trust was broken, and the sense of security that once held them together was shattered. The psychological scars ran deep. Lot's daughter struggled to reconcile her love for her father with the pain he had inflicted upon her. Her sense of identity and self-worth were severely compromised, leaving her vulnerable to the whims of a patriarchal society. Lot's own mental health suffered greatly. The guilt and anxiety that plagued him would have been overwhelming as he struggled to come to terms with the consequences of his actions. His legacy, once marked by faith and resilience, was now tarnished by the darkest of secrets. As the years went by, the trauma continued to simmer, affecting generations to come. The story of Lot's family became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the devastating consequences that could arise when desperation and fear drove decisions. The aftermath of Lot's decision serves as a poignant reminder of the lasting impact of trauma on individuals and families. The scars of that fateful night would never fully heal, a testament to the enduring power of pain and regret. The story of Lot and his daughter was unearthed through biblical accounts and historical records, sparking widespread debate and discussion. As news of this shocking tale spread, the public's reaction was swift and divided. On one hand, moral outrage dominated the discourse. Many condemned Lot's actions as reprehensible, questioning how a father could compromise his daughter's well-being so drastically. Religious leaders and scholars denounced the union as sinful and immoral, citing biblical principles and cultural norms. On the other hand, sympathy poured in for Lot's daughter. Many empathized with her tragic circumstances, recognizing the devastating impact of her father's decisions on her life. Her story resonated with women and marginalized groups who saw parallels between her experience and their own struggles with patriarchal societies. Notable figures from various disciplines weighed in on the controversy. Theologians debated the biblical context, questioning whether Lot's actions were justified in the face of impending doom. Historians analyzed the cultural nuances, highlighting the complexities of ancient family dynamics. Philosophers, meanwhile, probed the ethical implications, asking whether survival justified morally questionable decisions. Was Lot's choice a necessary evil or a grave mistake? Became a rallying cry for intellectuals and laypeople alike. As the debate raged on Lot's story, became a cultural touchstone, symbolizing the tensions between morality, survival, and family loyalty. The public's reaction continues to evolve, reflecting shifting societal values and our ongoing struggle to balance individual rights with collective responsibilities. The discovery of Lot's story has left an indelible mark on our collective consciousness, challenging us to confront the gray areas between right and wrong. As we conclude the story of Lot and his daughter, let's recap the key events that unfolded, but beyond the ancient context. Lot's story raises fundamental questions about human nature. How far would you go to protect your loved ones? Would you compromise your values or risk everything to safeguard their future? Perhaps the most haunting question remains: is survival justification for morally questionable actions? Does the end justify the means, or do we draw a line in the sand? These questions linger, challenging us to confront our own moral compass. Lot's story serves as a poignant reminder that in times of crisis, our choices define us. Thank you for joining us on this thought-provoking journey. If you found this video insightful, please like and share it with others. Subscribe to Sankofa Tales for more captivating stories that explore the human condition. Join our community of curious explorers, and together, let's uncover the secrets of the past.